welcome to another live.
You jump started it a little
You
bit
said
there.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh
Yeah,
my
I'm
gosh.
sorry.
Unreal. Hey, everybody. We're still really bad at this, apparently, but welcome to another live content session here. We got myself, Matt Hickey, Mike Jokum, the host. Jess is currently away right now, but we're sending our well wishes to her. Hopefully, she's having fun, whatever she's doing right now. And joining us as a guest is Christian Denevsky, Team Pit Lane member, who was also on Fan Night. You're kind of becoming a regular, not gonna lie. You're kind of got a knack for this. How you doing, Christian?
Not too bad. Like I mentioned to you guys before, I like talking, and anytime I can like go back and hear myself talk, it's pretty cool. So I'm not opposed to coming on. I'm happy to join anytime.
Are you like me, where you go back and listen to yourself and you think you sound really irritating and annoying?
I think I accidentally muted my sound for like half a second, so I didn't hear anything you just said.
Oh, I was just talking about how when I go back and listen to myself, I think I sound annoying. Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, it does. But actually, after the fan night thing, I went back and listened and actually felt okay with it, surprisingly. But
I think you got a great voice, not gonna lie.
yeah,
So,
well, I appreciate that.
Mike, how you doing?
I'm great. And on your voice topic, yes, being the person that edits us every week, and I have to listen to myself for like 3 hours because it takes me a while to like, go through and fine tune everything. I really hate listening to my voice.
It's kind of just natural, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, gonna talk about a couple things. Just do a little bit of rambling here, but
Hold on, before we get started, we have to give shout outs to the people who are commenting. I've got the comments up. I know on our little website here. Let's see if I can. Okay, it only says Facebook user. We'll figure out how to get it to say people's names. But Matthew, your mother says hello.
Hi.
Just to embarrass you a little bit at the start here. Now you can go ahead.
It's not embarrassing. Hi, Mom and Dad, I'm assuming. Yeah, we're gonna actually talk a little bit about the PLP GP is what we're calling it. A bunch of us who race on Xbox One started a little impromptu championship, kind of as a little giggles session last Monday to see where it would go, and it actually caught a lot of momentum. So now we're gonna do the full F1 season, F1 2019 game. So last week was Australia. Christian was, in my opinion, the fastest driver by a lot and won the pole. Christian, how did the race go as a whole? And what do you got? Any secrets for Bahrain?
Well, it started off really good. Like you mentioned, got the pole position. That was pretty cool. I felt really good. I did a decent bit of practice beforehand, and I felt really comfortable with the setup and the pace and everything. And then once we got towards the end of the runs, I quickly discovered that I'm really bad at managing the tires. So any medium to high speed corner, the back end just felt like it was going to come around on me. And there's a few clips. Well, there's one clip, but a few instances where that kind of did happen. And I kind of had to save it. So that was a bit rough from my end. And then, I was trying to push really hard in the middle stint and trying to do an extra stop to try to get the win, but I lost the back end again, tore off my front wing and had to come in to fix that. And from that point on, I was just focused on getting the fastest lap. So it was good fun, but I think there's stuff to work on, certainly from my end. And as far as Bahrain goes, I've been practicing a lot to try to get the flow of that track, but it's been pretty difficult for me.
Spoken like a true race car driver there.
Yeah, you did get the bonus point for fastest lap. That was pretty cool. I mean, you threw down an insane lap. I couldn't believe it was like a 1:32.1 or something like that.
I don't remember.
I obviously don't have an Xbox, but I think you were like 4 seconds faster than everybody else by the time you laid down that very impressive lap.
4 seconds faster than me. I think Neely was maybe like 7 or 8 tenths off.
Yeah, but that's kind of misleading because I did pit like twice at the very end for new softs and just try to hammer out fast laps.
Yeah, because if you looked at the leaderboards, I won the race, but my fastest lap was like 3 or 4 seconds slower than Christian's. But I was on old tires, not pushing. I was just trying not to make mistakes because I had a 20-second lead or something because you guys kept making those extra pit stops. But yeah, Bahrain, it's a weird track. Not gonna lie, there's some good passing zones, but a lot of it is kind of just trying to keep it on the track and doing the one groove. The middle sector is kind of just one groove in most areas. So we'll see if we get a lot of passing. I think pace wise, with all the practice we've been doing, I know Colin Taylor's got a pretty quick time trial time. You are currently P1 in the time trials. Neely and I are also not too far off from you. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we get a couple more people on the grid. Actually, it sounds like we may have 2 or 3 extra people joining us. So if you out there, Xbox One, F1 2019, want to join, just shoot us a message. Or you could be like Mike and have a PlayStation and be super lame like that. Also, my buddy David Lighting has a PlayStation. I'm kind of sad. I really wish he had an Xbox so he could race with us. But it should be a fun race. We'll share some clips. I'm trying to figure out this whole Twitch thing.
I'm not either.
People do not want to watch my face when we race, but I'd see if we can do some sort of live stream with my onboard camera or something, just so that people at home can watch something. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the PLP GP. So if you guys want to get involved somehow, just let us know and we can see if we can work some out.
Yeah, quick shout out to Amanda, Janae, Perry, Brian, and Eric for just joining in. I don't know who's still there and who's not, but thanks for watching at least for a moment. The Frenchie, Michael Goodier, and I did a NASCAR Heat online battle very late in the night a couple nights ago, and it was a complete train wreck. I actually did win a race, but at Watkins Glen. But the online lobbies there are a complete disaster. I mean, it is just people trying to wreck you left and right. You can't even get in a clean lap sometimes. And it's really frustrating. And it got to the point, I think it was like 1:30 in the morning. And I was like, I have to go to bed. Otherwise, I'm going to be angry until 5 a.m. at this point. So it is sort of similar to the end of a regular NASCAR race.
Usually if I ever play NASCAR Heat 4, I get to a point where I'm just frustrated and done with trying in general, even on just like quick races, to where I just start to turn around and crash into other people, which maybe plays into the stigma a bit, but it's fun. So
you're just trying to keep it as authentic as possible, right?
I suppose. Yeah, let's go with that.
I did it again last night when my work day ended, but Meg was still working downstairs, and I was like, well, I don't have anything to do. Let me get angry. And I found a lobby, and there was one guy every racetrack. He crashed everybody out, and it got to the point where I just had to turn off my PlayStation for the rest of the night because it just wasn't worth being frustrated.
Well, I'm kind of sad because you did have an Xbox, right?
I got rid of it because I wanted to play MLB The Show because I'm a big baseball fan. So I got rid of it, and I guess in hindsight,
weren't you the one who said that it's coming back?
Yeah,
Xbox
next year.
Well, seems like the time is right to switch back.
Well, next year, they've got the new consoles coming out, I think. So, we'll have to see who's got better pricing. That's really all it comes down to for me.
So if a PlayStation 5 is $499 and what are they calling it? Xbox Series X?
I have no idea.
It's something ridiculous like that. But if the new Xbox comes out and it's $501, you're going to go with the PlayStation 4?
No, don't be ridiculous.
You said it comes down to price.
But don't.
Exclusively, you might as well just label that button Matt at that point. It's exclusively used for me.
No, I used it on myself. Hey, Mike Kirk, and hey, Debbie. I used it on myself a couple weeks ago, didn't I? I screwed something up in the middle of the show.
Oh, James Alban's watching. Swinger, what up? We just got done talking about the Grand Prix from Monday and how we're excited for Monday. But all right, Christian, what do you think of this whole, speaking since we've been talking about video games, the new iRacing announcement for IndyCar? Good, bad, yay, nay?
I mean, obviously I think it's good. We're in such a lull right now, and it's a dead period, so might as well put something out there. Even if it doesn't, appeal to every single fan, because I have seen some people on Facebook mostly kind of aggravated by it, but not necessarily the IndyCar side of things, but just all, because all the series are doing it pretty much. So some people are aggravated by it, but I mean, at least, put out some content, get some fan engagement, some way to still be able to digest some content. So I think it's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I actually have like the race or whatever on my TV back behind me right now. Felix Rosenquist representing the IndyCar Boys Strong won his heat, so that's pretty cool. So it's just cool we have a bunch of different stuff going on this weekend that we're able to watch some content.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I watched a little bit last week of the race. I still can't figure out who the race is. I think it's a bunch of like X Auto Week or something like that publication guys. But I want to know who they are. I just want to know.
I'm not certain, but they have Julian Palmer commentating, so
Yeah,
there's that.
I don't know if that's a good thing. Is he good at it? I honestly, I watched it on mute.
He's fine. He's fine.
As far as a driver went, I was like, he never did anything for me. But who knows? Like, I don't know. Parker Johnstone never did much for me as a driver, but he was one of the best commentators ever, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, Julian Palmer is like a pundit on Sky Sports as well for the actual Formula One like races. So
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he shows up like every now and again.
Usually I'm watching an F1 race like in a media center somewhere before the IndyCar stuff starts, so there's no sound on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm the F1 correspondent, so now I have to.
Yeah.
I was super excited for the I'm sure we'll touch on this in the podcast next week, but I was super excited for the new regulations to come out next year with F1 because I know that cutting costs is important and producing a better product is important, but obviously what's going on in the world right now, they're actually delayed it a whole year, so now it's gonna be 2022. So that's super unfortunate. I was angling to be the F1 correspondent just for that because I do think F1 is about to enter a new horizon of entertainment value, and it's kind of a bummer, but obviously it makes sense for them to delay it. It's just a bummer for sure. But yeah, I think the whole iRacing thing is a good idea. I'm curious to see what your guys' we'll start with Mike, what your thoughts are about with the NASCAR side of it, them actually broadcasting it on Fox Sports 1. Do you think that's going to be successful per se as far as TV ratings go, or do you think it's going to kind of be a flop / who cares at that point though?
So let me go back to your previous question first. I think the IndyCar thing is really cool, especially that they're opening up the first race to like a fan vote on where it is with the mini bracket there. And I find it super ironic that the Milwaukee Mile and Fontana are battling against each other. I think today.
Yeah, for the love of God, do not vote for Milwaukee if you're out there. For the love of God.
I'm surprised Cleveland isn't an option. I think at that point, like Jess would just like spontaneously combust if she saw that.
We could do our 500-mile race at Cleveland that we've always talked about.
You're on to something, Matt. You're on to something.
Like 6 hours to finish.
Yeah, oh my God. But yeah, no, I think it's cool. The NASCAR on Fox or Fox Sports 1, whatever it is. I don't think it's going to be a ratings bonanza. I don't think it's going to be a total flop because as we've seen, the NASCAR thing that was on Twitch last Sunday got like 25,000 viewers, which is pretty good for a live stream put together in 2 days at that point. I don't think it'll be a total failure either. You'll get 25 or 35 or 40,000 people watching. Sure, probably somewhere around there. I think IndyCar using IndyCar.com, and I read they're going to be using the iRacing Twitch channel and YouTube as well, I think is probably the better method to go because it'll draw more attention to IndyCar's website and everything else on there, and their YouTube page with all the other content, I think is probably a better bet, but I think both will do well. I don't think, like you said, or Christian said, I forget, there's going to be people who don't enjoy it, and that's totally fine. If watching sim racing or watching video games, whatever you want to call it, isn't your thing, that's fair. It's respectable. I actually enjoy kind of just chilling watching it, especially because my house, the TV downstairs has had nothing but Bravo TV and Grey's Anatomy on for like 87,000 hours this week. so I could use a little bit of break from that because that's the only TV with cable in the house. So if if Meg is watching that and I'm watching racing on my iPad or my computer, I'm happy.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mike there. I don't really think it, like, from a ratings perspective, I don't think NASCAR is going to really blow up. I mean, it's kind of hard to exactly match the ratings with a sim race, obviously, but I suppose if they have the time slot on the channel, might as well use it. But I kind of like what Mike mentioned about utilizing the website for like IndyCar and utilizing like the online platforms to draw more attention to that side of things. Because I know obviously IndyCar's worked really hard over the off season to kind of revamp their website and things like that. So as much traffic as they can get there would be good. From NASCAR's perspective, like I said, they have the slot, so use it. And then I guess they can kind of reevaluate after this weekend, kind of how that works. Because at the same time, you don't want to make the TV partners angry with not drawing ratings and not getting eyes on their channel. So we'll see. I guess just got to wait and reevaluate after Sunday.
Going back to one thing you said, did you say you saw negative comments on Facebook about this?
Yeah.
What? Never.
I know, right?
It says us on Facebook Live /YouTube. Never on Facebook. No, I guarantee it's gonna delve into some sort of squabble about IndyCar fans versus NASCAR fans, because the NASCAR fans are like, hey, 25,000 people watched our stream, you guys only had 10,000. Kind of like the usual.
Yep.
Our TV ratings have 3.4 and you guys are at 0.9. You guys suck, kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to that, right?
Well, I guess that's kind of like touching back to some sense of normalcy. So I guess we have that going for us.
All is right in the world if we're having, things are looking up if we have NASCAR fans yelling at IndyCar because they're better ratings for their iRacing. I think, yeah, that is definitely getting back to the norm.
David Lighting has joined.
Well, then that's all I need in life right there.
Yeah, I saw you guys for FaceTiming again last night?
We sure were. Twice in 6 days. What did I do to deserve such an honor?
So cute.
It is a little cute. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of jealous of us. But yeah, we were reminiscing about Road America, and he was breaking out his F1 on the PS4.
Yeah, he told me. I think we're gonna try to do F1 on PS4 one day this week. My schedule is a little crazy right now, but we're gonna find some time to have some fun with it.
Yeah. Did you get to the post office yet?
I did not get to the post office yet.
If my mother is still watching.
Yeah. Sorry, Mrs. Hickey. I am notoriously terrible at trying to go to the post office because it's the worst place in the world.
It can't be that bad.
It's pretty bad, man. Everybody there.
Hang on. Christian's in Ohio, right?
Yes.
Our post office is bad in Ohio.
What do you mean? Are they bad? Like,
I don't know. Apparently, Mike's saying
the context.
No, apparently he's saying it's bad. What makes a post office bad?
In terms of the people who work there are always so miserable, you don't want to go in.
I mean, I don't really have much experience dealing with like the associates there or whatever. I usually, if I ever go there, I just drop something off in like the pickup box, and then like that's about it.
All right, because throughout our show we've labeled each other as certain experts. I think by next time you're on one of these chats, we have to officially label you our post office expert. So we need a full rundown.
Our shipping expert.
Shipping expert, post office.
Yeah.
Expert.
We'll see. It's a bit of a difficult time right now. I don't know what they're going to be doing with regulations regarding post office mail and shipments and stuff like that, but I'll do my best.
We expect a full report.
Yep. 5-page, 2,000 words or whatever they used to do in school.
Ugh.
Do I get double space or no?
No, definitely.
Wow.
Single space, and Matt is going to write in red and orange colored marker when you make mistakes.
Matt cool MLA format.
Yeah, MLA format. I'm having terrible flashbacks.
Like, I know we need to change the subject. This is bad memories here.
So the Super Saturday at Sebring is on the iRacing.com/live and the iRacing YouTube channel right now for the 90 minutes of Sebring. There's a bunch of IndyCar guys in that. Sage Karam led practice last night. Ferrucci is there. I don't remember who else. Those are the only two I remember. I'm sorry.
Dalton Kellett was like 20th.
He was there.
Like 2 seconds slower than Sage.
He was there. Just leave it at that.
Okay,
Colton,
sorry.
Colton's doing something too, but I don't remember which one it is.
Yeah, because Sage looks quick though. Jeez.
And shout out to one of our listeners who submitted some questions, Chad Frankenfield. He runs a sim series called Elite Racing Leagues with a bunch of different sports, and they had IndyCar at Texas last night, and it was like the Texas from, what was that, 3 years ago when Hinch and Ray Hall and Pagano had that crazy battle at the last 10 or so laps.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the year they ran it in August because they had to come back.
Right. So that was a really good race to watch last night, and I think Texas Motor Speedway even kind of gave them a nice shout out. And Pit Lane Parley is on the front of the car there. So, yay, Chad.
Love to see it.
What else? Oh, the Lionheart Racing Series ran their retro IndyCar race the other night. Matt, that's the picture I shared with you. With the Marty Davis has the Pit Lane Parley car, which looks really cool. And I think when they start the IR18 series soon, our logo will be on Marty's car there too.
We need to get our logo on Christian's car in F1. Is that legal? Can we do that?
Xbox, yeah.
You would have to like go through PC, I think, to get a custom livery like that.
Dang
unfortunately, yeah. I don't think Xbox has that ability for customization, unfortunately.
Well, notice how I said Christian, because we want it to look good. If it was on my car, I'd be like in a fireball or something. I'd be wrecked every race, and it just wouldn't be a good look for us.
That's Jake. Jake's the one who crashes like 16 times.
That guy. I think he hit somebody last race. There was only like 1 or 2 instances of contact the entire race last week, and one of them was Jake hitting the Stig, I believe. So, but all in all, it was actually a pretty clean race. I mean, people had like, minor offs and one car incidents, but there wasn't like contact between 2 people per se. And we got through lap 1 clean, so that was good.
Oh, that's good. Where's
someone spun, but that, like, I don't think there was contact.
I'm sorry, I know you said it, but where is your next race?
So we just go in order of the schedule, which means Bahrain's next. And yeah, as we've said, it's not our favorite track. And then after that's China, which is also not my favorite track. And then it's Baku. Baku's going to be nuts. It is a crazy track with crazy speed and a lot of potential for damage. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm sure we'll get a safety car a time or two.
Well, that's the thing. We need to discuss that, actually. I mean, to discuss that. If we keep the damage unlimited, I don't think we're actually ever going to get a safety car per se.
Yeah.
Because if there's no like wrecked car to clean up, I don't think the safety car will get triggered.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, I mean, if there was a track to get a safety car, it'd be that or Monaco probably.
So did you do Australia with full damage, or was it limited?
We did limited, which basically means front wing, and that's about it. So I lost a little bit of my front wing when I touched the wall once. I know it was pretty much my one mistake for the race. I know. I mean, we can't all be Christian and just save it every time. So,
well, but yeah, but that's the thing. I didn't save it every time.
Well, but the one you posted on Twitter was pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, that was not fun.
Is that just reaction at that point from your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, that just
really
try to hold on to it. Yeah, just try to hold on to it as best you can. Normally, those don't work out for me too well.
Christian, are you using your Xbox controller or steering wheel?
I'm using a wheel.
Matt?
I use a controller. I'm like a dinosaur.
Yeah, so
I guess.
it's like impossible to like save that on a controller.
I actually disagree. I don't know. I've been using a controller forever, but my first racing game, we can kind of discuss what your first racing game is next, but with me it was F1 2002 on the GameCube with Montoya. I think it was Montoya on the cover. in his Williams. So
Mhm.
from then on, I've that's where I started to learn how to race on uh, gaming system. And then when F1 came out in 2010, I got back into it. So I don't know. I've always just been a controller guy, and like with practicing with the traction control, I've actually found it to be not too bad on medium with using the controller stick. So fingers crossed. Maybe I'll get into a wheel one day. I don't know when though.
Yeah, I thought about getting one, but there's no room. I have all this equipment in here already for the show, so I don't really have too much room, and I don't. Yeah, I'll just stick with the controller. It's cool though. I mean, I did iRacing for a while. I had a very cheap wheel. It literally cost me $20 on Amazon. It's like a Ferrari colored wheel with plastic pedals, and I'm not exaggerating. It was literally just a plastic pedal board that if you press down too hard, it would fall apart on you. But I did win one race. One race.
That's the problem with wheels, is they get really expensive really fast.
Yeah, they're really cool. The technology is amazing behind all of this. Sim racing and esports in general is really cool, but it's just so expensive, and I already have to buy all the travel for the IndyCar and everything. It's just another expense that I don't get to use until I'm home in the fall. And, I'm just coming up with excuses now.
So what was your first game, Christian, that you remember?
Oh, F1 2001. I think the Schumacher brothers were on the cover. I could be wrong, but on the Xbox, the original Xbox. And I did use the controller for that as well, but I was also like 4 or 5. So like I was pretty terrible. And my dad actually did end up getting a wheel for it, and I started using that too. But for the most part, I was using a controller. And then when the Codemasters versions came out in 2010, I had 10, 12, and 14 for the 360 and was using a controller for that. And then when I finally got the one, I've had every game since 16. And then I got a wheel in like 2017, I think, summer 2017. So since then, I've been using the wheel.
I think I'll do that. Is when I get the new console next year. I'll get a wheel.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I'm kind of trying to hold off a bit on getting a new wheel, is because if there's a new console coming out and I end up getting that, then I should probably get one that's compatible for that.
I do think I'm going to buy the Gran Turismo for PS4 that came out like 2 years ago, just so I can have another racing game that's sports cars and not NASCAR. But my first racing game, Matt, what was yours?
F1 2002, I think.
I think mine, I don't know if you guys remember, was the original Need for Speed game that was like on the original Xbox. It might be before your time. I know I'm a few years older than probably both of you.
No,
I didn't think so. So the original Need for Speed game where you got to like put a turbo on your car and all that like crazy stuff, I think it came out in the late 90s. So Matt, you were probably like 4 and Christian was probably like 2. I feel really old and sad.
I'm not even making a joke at this point.
I didn't have to. You just stared, and I was like, I know what you're thinking right now.
What? Never.
But yeah, that and like the IndyCar game that was on Xbox 360 IRL, was that 2002 or 2003? Those games were always super fun. I've considered buying like an old Xbox just so I can go back and play those games.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird because it's IndyCar Series 2005.
Yeah,
using the 2003 schedule on cars.
Yeah, and then I think 2003 was based off 2002 or something weird like that.
Only IndyCar could do that.
Yeah,
it was a confusing time back then.
Well, NASCAR Thunder 2002 is based off the 2001 season.
Is it really?
So like I don't quite get that stuff because I have 2002 for that game. That was actually a pretty fun game for the original Xbox. But it's just weird.
Christian, I'm not sure if you saw my idea on Twitter, but Would you be interested in buying what I described, which was if Codemasters went back and took, so like right now, obviously the game we're playing is based on the 2019 season. What if they took everything about this game, like what you can do with career mode and making it 10 years long and updating the car, and then there's new regulations that come in where you could potentially tank your car and the teams shuffle up. What if they did that, but with like the 2005 F1 season, but they, used all the modern graphics and whatnot? Like, would you be interested in buying something like that?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think that, especially because that era of F1 was kind of probably my favorite. It's kind of when I started really getting into racing, in the early to mid 2000s, like that era with Alonso and the Renault and those V10s and everything. So, as far as just from like the cars that raced then, I know they made the F1 games around that era for the PlayStation. But even if they just made like a game just for that season or something for the one or whatever, I think that'd be fun to play. But especially, that's the one thing that with these games it's kind of hard to get is, they have to base it off the one season. So you can do like a 10-year career mode, but it's all based off the same cars, the same drivers, same everything. So it'd be neat to get that perspective of like, having like a change in the regulations that could completely like flip the whole like championship on its head.
And one thing I do love about F1 2019 is that in the off season there can be driver changes for the first time ever. So like,
Pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I haven't really done, like, I literally just started my career mode the other day. So I think that's pretty cool. But it's interesting because like those drivers obviously have contracts to manufacturers and like to sponsors and stuff. So I thought that was always the reason that they kind of like prevented that from happening in the past.
Yeah, there's some legality thing that said that they could do that. So I don't know. I loved it though. So that's really
That's
cool.
awesome. I didn't know that.
When I was doing my career mode, probably right when the game came out last year, Sebastian Vettel ended up in a Williams, and I turned off the PlayStation for the remainder of the week at that point.
That'd be hilarious though.
Williams is my ultimate punching joke. Anyway, before we wrap up here, I just turned on the Sebring, IMSA Sebring e-race, and in practice, Tristan Vautier spun and crashed into the wall. So thankfully, it's just an e-race, and when the race actually starts in, I don't know, a couple minutes, it means nothing because that's the beauty of e-racing. But I thought that was kind of funny. I turned it on, and the first thing I see is Tristan Vautier going face first into the wall. Let's see here. We have Gabby Chavez in this race. Let's go to the next screen here. I don't know who any of these people are. A bunch of people, I have their names. I'm trying to see what IndyCar guys we have in here. Karam, obviously, as I mentioned. Dalton Kellett, as Matt mentioned. I think Dalton's going to win it, guys. Felipe Nasser, I guess we can call him in IndyCar. Do we call him IndyCar yet or no?
He's almost there.
Okay, he's sort of there. Okay, this is going to take forever. So, Christian, thanks for joining us. Everybody who tuned in, thanks for listening on a very, looks like a nice Saturday afternoon here. So, enjoy your weekends. And unless Matt has anything else to say, we can, go to this link here at the bottom, go to our website and support us by clicking on the members link. And all of our Twitter handles are down here. This will stay in the recorded video too, so feel free to check it out and message us with any questions.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Christian. Appreciate your time.
Cool. Thanks for having me on again.